Are you looking for the best espresso machines? In this video we will look at some of the 7 best espresso machines on the market. Before we get started with our video, we have included links in the description. So make sure you check those out to see which one is in your budget range. Number 1. Nespresso Lattissima Pro. A professional grade machine for the home user, the Lattissima Pro offers the quick, push-button selection Nespresso is known for while looking impressive on the counter. It can whip up a variety of drinks, including ristretto, espresso, lungo, cappuccino, latte, hot milk, and hot water, many of which are broken down in our glossary of coffee drinks. Along with its ease of use, the item also works quickly. We found that it pulls espresso shots in 14 seconds once heated up. The thermo-block heating system turns cold water to hot in just a few seconds too, brewing coffee much faster than you could with a manual espresso maker. We appreciated the item's customizable settings, something that further sets the Lattissima Pro apart from many one-touch coffee makers. The coffee, water, and milk options can all be set to your preferred volume, and the machine even remembers the preferences for future use. One of the only things the item can't do is produce coffee in large volumes, which is typical for original espresso machines. While this might be too costly for the occasional espresso drinker, it will make a statement and produce excellent results without the need to learn the differences between brews. Number 2. Nespresso Creatista Plus. The Creatista Plus is a premier model among espresso makers. In addition to making an excellent brew, we came away with high praise for the integrated milk frother after we made a variety of drinks with it. There are 11 settings to adjust the milk temperature and 8 options for milk texture. The microfoam is rich and fluffy, wonderful for perfecting your latte art. We also found the foam thicker than that produced by a comparable espresso machine, the Creatista Pro. Along with the advanced technology comes a high-end look, one reminiscent of manual espresso machines but much easier to use. Simply choose the drink you want from ristretto, espresso, lungo, latte, cappuccino, flat white, or latte macchiato. Adjust the serving size, then select your milk temperature and texture from the digital menu. The water heats up in 3 seconds, which is unheard of compared to most espresso machines, so you'll be sipping in no time. Not only is this smart enough to turn you into a kitchen barista, but it also lets you know when it's time to clean and descale the machine with its self-cleaning function. This is one of the most expensive espresso makers, though, so you could explore non-pod-based espresso machines in a similar, if not cheaper, price range. Number 3. Nespresso Essenza Mini. While most espresso makers are easy to use, the Essenza Mini exemplifies simplicity. It doesn't have as many bells and whistles as other espresso models, but that's expected given its low price. There are only 2 drink options to choose from, espresso and lungo, and no frothing wand attached. That said, we found the espresso to be strong and well worth the purchase, even if the Essenza Mini doesn't produce flavors as complex and nuanced as pricier machines. The coffee is extremely consistent. The item heats up in under 25 seconds and requires minimal cleanup. One detail that separates the Essenza Mini from the typical bulky espresso maker is its small size. It's just over 3 inches wide, which is roughly the size of a coffee mug. This is accomplished, in part, because the 23.2-ounce water tank is directly behind the machine instead of on the side. To save energy, the Essenza Mini turns off 9 minutes after you stop brewing. Number 4. Nespresso CitiZ and Milk. The Nespresso CitiZ is designed to save space in the kitchen, measuring just 5.2 inches wide and 10.9 inches high. It's one of the smallest and lightest espresso makers sold today. We recommend purchasing the CitiZ in a bundle option that includes an Arrocino 3 milk frother. The addition of the frother provides a wider variety of drinks at a reasonable price, plus it doesn't take up much more space since the frother can be stored in a cupboard if need be. The espresso itself is suitably strong and highlighted the nuanced flavors in the espresso capsules we used, even though the overall score for taste was in the middle of the pack of the 10+ espresso makers we tested. The CitiZ consistently produced an impressive crema, giving the espresso shots a smooth and silky texture. On top of that, the drinks brew quickly. It took roughly 45 seconds combined for the CitiZ to warm up and brew a tasty espresso shot. Customers who purchase the CitiZ can choose between a 1.35-ounce espresso shot and a 3.7-ounce lungo shot, which is typical of Nespresso's originaline machines. The CitiZ holds up to 9 used capsules before the container needs to be emptied. That's fewer than average but makes sense given the item's compact design. In addition to testing this Nespresso machine in our lab, we've used it for over 1.5 years in the kitchen of one of our editors. I use my Nespresso CitiZ every day, for multiple espresso shots using a multitude of different coffee pod types, says Amanda McDonald. I descale it about twice a year and have not noticed a drop in brewing quality at all. The only qualm I have with the machine is that it can drip after brewing, so I have to empty and clean the catch trays and the water tank frequently to prevent mold buildup. Number 5. Nespresso Vertuo and Milk Frother. When Nespresso launched its Vertuoline machines in 2014, this is the one that started it all. The Vertuo marked the brand's expansion from just espresso and espresso-based drinks to drip-style coffee in larger serving sizes. It can make 4 drinks, a single or double shot of espresso and a 5-ounce or 8-ounce cup of drip coffee. While that might be plenty of options for some people, the Vertuo can also be purchased in a bundle deal with an Arancino milk frother, which opens the door for lattes and cappuccinos. The Vertuo is among the more affordable Nespresso machines, even with the addition of the frother. We tried the machine ourselves and came away impressed with its speed, simplicity, and coffee quality. The espresso shots were extremely bold and topped with a rich crema. One possible critique is that the 2 drip-style options retain a bit of the boldness and bitterness that's characteristic of espresso. This will please customers who like a stronger brew, but it may be an adjustment for those who prefer true drip coffee. Nespresso machines are typically easy to clean, yet this one is even easier than most, in part because there's no frothing wand. We were pleased with the removable capsule container on the right side of the machine, as it makes disposing of pods easier. The water reservoir is too narrow for some hands to fit all the way inside, though. A descaling alert pops up when it's time for a more thorough clean. Number 6. Nespresso Coffee and Espresso Maker. The Vertuo Plus is a well-rounded Nespresso model that suits an array of coffee lovers. First off, it's one of the most affordable Nespresso makers, so it fits any budget and is a low-stress investment for customers looking to try the brand for the first time. Despite its comparatively low price, the Vertuo Plus is well built and can hold up to daily use. It offers a choice between drip-style coffee and espresso, and there are 4 drink sizes in total: espresso, double espresso, gran lungo, and coffee. The espresso shots we tried contained both a bold punch and an undertone of sweetness. This flavor combination, as opposed to something one-note and overly roasted, is ideal for espresso shots. One of the only criticisms we had was that the espresso shots were occasionally on the thinner side and didn't have a long-lasting taste that stays on your tongue, what experts refer to as body. Nonetheless, the Vertuo Plus received a higher than average taste score compared to other machines we assessed. The heat-up time is fast, and brewing is pleasantly quiet, but it takes a few seconds longer than average to pull an espresso shot. Another reason this model is so approachable is because it has an intuitive and minimalist design, a common theme for Nespresso makers. One top-facing button controls everything from powering on, rinsing the machine, and brewing. It's also fairly compact and the shape can be adjusted to fit your countertop thanks to an adjustable water tank. Number 7. Nespresso Gran Lattissima. The Gran Lattissima takes Nespresso's signature one-touch brewing to the next level by offering an impressive 9 drink options. Users can select a shot of espresso in 3 different sizes or several milk-based drinks like lattes, cappuccinos, latte macchiatos, and flat whites. After testing the machine firsthand, we found it was super versatile and easy to tell what drink you're choosing because of the labeled buttons and LED display. Another benefit of the Gran Lattissima is how quickly it brews. This is true for most espresso makers, but the speed is especially notable here considering the variety and complexity of drink options. It took just 20 seconds for an espresso shot and 50 seconds for a cappuccino. We also found its heat-up time second fastest out of the 11 machines we tested. Once finished with your coffee, cleanup is simple thanks to the item's self-cleaning function, which forces steam and hot water through the milk spout. Nespresso recommends using the cleaning function after every use. The rapid cappuccino system requires a little more upkeep. Instructions say to remove it from the machine, disassemble its 6 parts, and place them in the dishwasher or wash them by hand. Some users report that the milk spout drips for a while after use, but we didn't come across this issue. One last detail to consider is the Gran Lattissima's price. It's more expensive than most Nespresso machines, not to mention that Nespresso capsules themselves are pricey, but we think the convenience and versatility make it worth the money for those interested in a long-term, top-of-the-line coffee maker.